guys, it's Francine Brown. A lot of you know me from FrancineBrown.com. Hey, I just wanted to give you guys a class. I was supposed to do a class today locally, and unfortunately, I broke my heel, so I'm going to be doing some more online classes. So I'm going to, for the people that I couldn't get to today, we're going to do this online. But anyway, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about unexpected weight changes, weight gain, weight loss, rashes, sometimes irritability, headaches, sinus infections, any kind of like unexplained things that started to happen with you or anything like that. So I really wanted to talk to you guys about some of this stuff. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background, why I'm talking to you guys about this today. About 8 years ago, we moved into our house that we're in now. And about a year in, I started to gain all this weight, all this weird stuff started happening. And I gained about 100 pounds when we moved into this house. After I gained the weight, I couldn't understand what was going on. I started to feel like hungover every day and like I drank 2 bottles of wine or something. And I just didn't understand what was happening. So I just started to do some of my own research and everything, and I found some people that were waking up feeling hungover every day, that it was something called gluten. And I didn't even know what gluten was, okay? So I did some research, and basically they just said, just stick to meat and vegetables, no seasoning, no anything for, a couple months and see how you do. Well, let me tell you, after 3 days, I found out that my headaches and stuff started to go away, okay? I started to lose a little bit of weight, but I was gluten-free for probably about 4 years or so, and got my thyroid and things like that under control, but something else was really going on, and I still didn't feel right. Well, then we were in a car accident about 4 years ago, and then I went in for a follow-up CAT scan because, sorry, I'm kind of shaking. I have you guys in my lap because I have to be in a recliner because I broke my heel. So anyway, so they wanted me to go in for a follow-up CAT scan because I was still having some cognitive issues and things from the car accident. So while I was in for the CAT scan, I had a reaction to the CAT scan dye. It wasn't bad. It was just kind of like the sniffles and itchy throat and stuff. So the radiologist told the technician to give me 25 milligrams of Benadryl. Well, the girl wound up giving me 250 milligram pushes of Benadryl in my IV, and I wound up going through a lot. But anyway, one thing that I'm not going to go into that. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to my website, FrancineBrown.com, and just click on my story, and you can read a little bit more about that. But anyway, something, as I was in and out of hospitals and things, recovering from the Benadryl overdose, something I noticed was I kept saying to my husband, I'm like, gosh, every time I leave my house, every time I leave the house, I feel a little bit better. Even as awful as I felt, I don't know. I don't know if because I felt so poorly after the overdose, I don't know if I became more in tune to my body or what. But let me tell you, I would feel even just a little bit better. So, but what was happening was I was very fatigued, not a lot of energy. I started to become very, very irritable. All these things were going on. And so it wasn't until we went on vacation. We went on a vacation to the Smoky Mountains. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. So anyway, we were there, and let me tell you, okay, I felt so different. We actually went on go-karts. I was able to walk up and down stairs. I wasn't in bed all the time, all this stuff. And I was like, gosh, I'm like, what is going on? So I was like, oh, maybe I'm just having a good week, right? Well, we come home, guess what? Got home, right back in bed again. So I'm like, what is happening? Now I was definitely with the Benadryl, I was chemically exposed in a high volume of with that Benadryl because I received what 20 people should have received. So my body got very overwhelmed, but I was still kind of like, I'm like, oh my goodness, like what is going on? Like I couldn't fathom what was happening. So we were actually having impact windows put into our house. So we were taking out glass block. There was glass block in our master bathroom, and when they took out the glass block, they found rot underneath. It's the only part of our house that's framed is this little area in our bathroom. And they found this rot. And we're like, oh my goodness. So, we got it all fixed and everything. But then we were like, you hear all these things, about mold and different things. And it was just very, very, very dry rotted. I don't even know how this glass block was staying up, right? So I don't know. It was probably like a couple weeks after the windows went in. I started to get really weird symptoms, and my tongue started to swell, and all this stuff started to happen. And I was like, "What is going on? Like, what's happening? What's going to happen here?" So it wasn't until one night, and this went on for probably about 2 months. But I thought, this is still all the Benadryl stuff, and I had so much going on after the Benadryl overdose that I never really knew what was going on. So anyway, I didn't want to make my husband and my daughter nervous, and my tongue was really swelling, and I was starting to feel a little bit like overly anxious and stuff, and I was like, I'm just going to go outside. So I didn't want to alarm them with anything, so I was like, I'm going to go outside. So I stepped outside, and when I stepped outside, I'm telling you, I sat on my porch for like 5 minutes. And within that 5 minutes, my tongue actually went down. The swelling went down. I was like, oh my gosh, it's the house. We thought it was the VOCs from the windows. Okay. So here we think it's the VOCs from the windows and whatever. So I checked myself into a hotel. But anyway, guys, I'm here to tell you, okay, we wound up doing, I'm not going to go into the whole story because you can go on my website. But I'm here to tell you that we wound up finding out that we had mold in our house. And it was probably all contained in that area underneath that glass block window. And when they opened up that glass block and all the spores and the mycotoxins and everything wound up going all through our house. So I'm telling you guys, if you have any symptoms whatsoever, okay, please go to my website at francinebrown.com and then go to resources. And when you go on resources, you can see I have a spot under the mold section. Everything's in order. It goes down in order in alphabetical, okay? You can click on there, and it'll tell you where to go and get your mold test. You can order it yourself. All you do is you dust. It's amazing. It's awesome. You get the results within a week or two, okay? If it comes back in a tie, you can go back to my website. You can email me at info@francinebrown.com. I'll be more than happy to help you guys. But we did wind up finding a machine that helped us to be able to save some of our things in our home and all sorts of stuff. So, but I just really want to make you guys aware that mold is definitely a problem. It's not just here in Florida. It's all over. People are sick all over from mold. So just know that it's not normal to feel fatigued and headaches and have all this weird weight gain or weight loss or being very sick. Repeat sinus infections. Like I said already, migraines. I would also get rashes, like all of my creases and things. All my creases, all in the upper parts of my arms. And you guys don't have to suffer from this. You have to realize that sometimes there's a cause, there's a trigger for this. And I really think that moving into this house, that the mold been in that wall, okay, because when you're sensitive and you have a mold gene, we don't detox mold. It's an HLA gene. So if you have that gene, you can't detox mold. Okay, so if you have that, you're going to be more sensitive to someone else, but we all react different ways, and sometimes we don't realize what is happening at the time that it's happening. Okay, so I'm just telling you guys to just research it. Go to my website. Again, that's francinebrown.com. Go under resources, and then scroll down until you get to mold, and it'll tell you right there where to order your test. Okay, I don't make anything off of you ordering that test or anything like that. Okay. So I'm just here to tell you guys, I'm going to do a follow-up, and I'm going to show you guys some of the things that we did. But I'm going to make it a little bit more formal, okay? But I just want to thank you guys for checking in with me today. If you have any questions, feel free to message me at info@francinebrown.com. And you can also follow me at Francine Brown on Facebook as well. All right? Thanks. Have a good night.